Alright. What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy White Album here. Welcome back to some more Holy Night. This is my second attempt at this because I'm gonna be honest, did not like my first attempt. I was just messing up my words and my sentences, like I'm already fucking up now. So I just decided to restart, but luckily, I was only like 3 minutes in, so we're good. Last time we left off, Aoko and Sojiro were fighting off the spider puppet lady. And now Aoko has blown the place up to Kingdom Come, so let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys are doing well, I know I am. But here we go. Let's go back to my load save. Let me take a quick sip of water while this plays out. She hesitated for a fraction of a second. Was it naivety? A sense of responsibility? She pushed aside the image that popped into her head and continued running down the corridor. We don't have the luxury of coordinating the timing with each other to pull this off. It's not the greatest plan in the world, but we both need to do our parts and get to the exit as quickly as possible. That was 5 minutes ago. At the time, Sojiro had nodded with trepidation, and Aoko had not bothered to ask herself why. What are you thinking, Aoko? Just focus on running. This corridor was giving out too. If she were to look back, she was sure she would have seen the building collapsing in on her. She was also sure she had no time to waste doing so. Her luck was fading as fast as the building's structural integrity. It was a small miracle that she had escaped serious injury up to this point, and she cannot afford even the slightest slip-up. A sprained ankle, loss of balance, even a sneeze would be fatal. A simple pat on the back was enough to end it. So naturally... like how the game says that. So naturally, yeah, you have to wonder what's going to happen next. So here we go. Oh, we got Spider Lady. Spider Lady's back. There it was, clear as day. From the I can't pronounce this word. From the depths of the stairway, I'll just say that. Death had arisen to take her down with it. A corpse that had crawled its way up from the depths of hell itself. It was still operational. And it was still armed with curses. It had crawled after her, watching as Aoko desperately tried to save herself. The puppet's arm shot forward. While Aoko did not turn to meet it, she could see its reflection in the mirrors. Extend, extend, extend. This time, she could not dodge it. There was absolutely nothing she could do. The puppet, with her face, sang, I invite you to die a muddy death. Become as whispering dust. Gouge out your heart. I don't know if that word would mean... Okay. Death be upon you. What? For a moment, she could not believe her eyes. This was the last thing she expected to see. Oh yeah, fucking course, Sojiro fucking comes out of nowhere to save her. Don't know when to give up, do you? A fierce expression adorned the face of the boy who had been waiting in the plaza, as he smashed the puppet's outstretched arm. Anger really did not suit him at all. His weapon of choice was a fire extinguisher. He must have searched the maze for something to use as a weapon. No, never mind that. It was too crazy to contemplate. But had he stayed behind for her? Shizuki! Aoko stopped the feet that she had sworn to herself she would never stop moving and extended hand out to him. Shit, I'm sorry, buddy. That's enough. Leave it. We have to go. Sojiro tossed the fire extinguisher aside and took off running. The spider lady's like, nah, you ain't getting away from me that quickly. Pieces of ceiling continued to to collapse like dominoes. I don't know why I said that. They kept moving, with dust and dirt following in their wake. Their shadows raced through the collapsing corridor with all their strength. Yeah, like this won't bring any attention to this fucking park, right? Somebody was like, what the hell was that? The castle was in the throes of death. With a massive crash and a cloud of dust, the final chapter of the fairy tale that had been Kitsyland came to an abrupt end. Sorry if you hear me moving around and stuff. My dog's with me this time, so you might not know it, but he's going to be here laying next to me, and he's kind of fidgety because it's there's loud noises going outside. But here we go. He's laying down now, so he's a little bit better. This duel to the death was over. For a moment, amidst their swirling emotions, all past enmity was left behind, and the two collapsed on the lawn and basked in a strange solidarity. The ringing in their ears subsided before long. A tremor of such magnitude seemed impossible in an amusement park like this. Again, that's how to get fucking the cops into this area ASAP. As the sound of the destruction echoed across the park, Alko addressed the individual at her side. Hey, you alive? Yeah, well, good, because I still have to kill you. While the click of her tongue was adorable, the meaning behind it was anything but. Yep.
Aozaki, あいつどうなった?
Aozaki. What happened to that thing? It just crawls up like the fucking T-1000.
見ての通りよ。今頃バラバラ死体になってるんじゃない?
What do you think? It was crushed to bits. Sojiro sighed, not wholly relieved by her frank response. His reason?
でも、そんな心配より自分の心配をした方がいいと思うわよ。しずきくん。
Never mind that thing. You should be worrying about yourself. He wasn't out of the woods yet, after all.
青崎、子供の頃はいじめっ子だっただろ。
Aozaki, I'm guessing you were a bit of a bully as a kid.
可逆趣味はないって自負してるけど。
Maybe, but I don't get a kick out of seeing people suffer. Well,
それ
how you
で、
do?
今の自分の立場、わかってる?
Never mind that. Do you know the situation you're in now? She sat up and smiled. Sojiro hung his head in shame, wondering why her kind tone and expression were so chilling.
面目次第もございません。
Please accept my sincerest apologies. Just fucking
かし
chop
こ
your
まっても
throat.
ダメよ。あの提案には大前提があったわよね。これは取引だって。あなたが役に立つのなら見逃してあげるっていう。
Oh no. Don't you even start. You know what our agreement was, and a deal is a deal. If you held up your end of the bargain, I'd let you go.
わかってる。だから面目ないって言ってるだろ。
Exactly, and that's why I'm apologizing. Sojiro made a show of avoiding her eyes, like a pouting child. Alko was taken aback by this sulky display. Perhaps he was angry at himself rather than her. He was not mad because she would not let him go. He was mad that he had not done his part. Aoko sighed for what seemed like the millionth time that day. She cannot figure out what surprised her more, his unconditional kindness or her naive approval of it.
じゃあ、覚悟はできてるの?
So, are you ready? Are you ready to fucking haul ass out of there because the cops are showing up?
そんなのはできないけど、約束だからな。結局は何もしていないし。
Of course not. But a promise is a promise. In the end, I failed to do my part. Then Alice shows up out of nowhere and like saves his ass. If that happens, I think I'm just going to be done with this game. It was certainly the case that he had failed to do any of the things she had expected of him. But just then, she glanced back at the collapsed house of mirrors. What he had done after failing so spectacularly. He had searched for the extinguisher so he could use it as a weapon, and waited patiently in the plaza as the maze collapsed all around him, because he thought it was wrong of him to leave alone. It was a foolish choice, and the exact opposite of her choice to run toward the exit without hesitation.
ま、それでよしとするか。
I suppose I'll take it. She was satisfied, even as she was shocked at how naive she was being. It was true that he had saved her. She smiled inwardly, admiring, if only for a moment, the bravery he had continued to show in the face of such extreme circumstances.
役割は果たさなかったけど、アフターケアは合格だし。約束は守らなくちゃね。
You may have blown your chance, but you did make up for it after the fact. I'll keep my promise. With a nod, she pulled herself to her feet.
約束は、いつか守ってもらうとして。
But you'll pay back this favor someday. The girl tried to keep a straight face as she offered a hand to the boy still lying on the ground.
結果はどうあれ手助けしてもらったし。
You managed to help me in the end.
特別サービスってことで、今夜はもう手を出さないであげる。
So because of that, I'll let you off the hook. For tonight.
Huh?
My man is mad confused. Bro, you should have just stayed at home with your damn apples, brother. She bashfully averted her eyes, or her gaze. That's the same shit, right? Though her profile appeared different than it had in the past, it was clearly still the face of the vibrant girl he met the day he first arrived in town.
何よ。
What are you staring at? As if she had felt his eyes on her, she shot him a frowning glare.
いや、突拍子もないけど、青崎は律儀だなって。
Oh, sorry. It's just, as crazy as it is to say aloud, you're really a fair person, Aozaki. He took her outstretched hand. Feeling his weight as she pulled him up, she could not help but to think that he was about the last person she wanted to hear that from. I mean, yeah, he was about to be a murder victim.
今夜はって言うけど、明日からは。
By the way, you said you left me off the hook for tonight. What about tomorrow?
さ、その時になったら考えるわ。
Well, we'll just have to see. She shrugged her shoulders as if she was not sure herself. The response was so unlike her that it made Sojiro smile. Was it the solidarity of having escaped death together, or their fleeting camaraderie that made him do so? It might have been for this night only, but the air between them was kind and gentle. A lot had transpired, but the midwinter nightmare had come to an end. The pair had overcome many trials and tribulations, and could now leave the mirror realm in their wake. But before that...
随分と身勝手ね。
How selfish of you.
それはあなた一人で決めていいことだったかしら。
Oh fuck, is that Alice? Oh god. I just realized. And who, may I ask, said you could decide that, Aoko? Was she just standing on top of whatever this clock tower is? Oh, was she invisible? She can do that? Mages can do that? They could just be fucking invisible? Okay. It was the voice of a beautiful singing bird and a merciless machine, all rolled into one.
アリス。
Alice. Her voice quivered as she spoke the name. The lady in black made her presence known. The night was not over yet, so she was just there the whole time. You could have... Okay. Well, I guess she was there to watch if Aoko was going to go through with it or not, so... And if she was there, why the fuck did she not help them stop the puppet? Or did she just show up like 2 seconds ago? Like, what? Okay, sure, whatever. Her name was Alice Kuonji. She was a witch whose name struck fear into the heart of Aoko, an avatar of the night who could allow no witnesses. So what is Aoko gonna be, or is Alice gonna be like, you forced my hand, Aoko, I gotta do it my damn self. I gotta do it myself. Alright, so let's save. I think we're finally on the Night of the Witches Part 2. Oh, and I did look at the archive, and yes, I did miss this part here, this news section here. All it is, from what I read from like the first one, I think it's just just from like the few pages, I guess, if I could call that. It's just Sojiro fitting into the city lifestyle. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I think I'll read through these at another time. I feel like I'm already a little bit too deep into the story to be reading these, you know? I might just make a separate video on those. Okay, we saved. On to the next episode. Night of the Witches, Part 2. The melody stirred an emotion like nostalgia within them. Something once familiar, but now lost to this world. Oh, hold on. Make sure you're off, because I saw that. They believed, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it would play for all eternity, from opening stanza to final coda. It was a mysterious siren song, merry yet longing, that heralded a return from dreams to reality. The night shook. A song was spun. Now, their lost paradise was unearthed. Abandoned dreams. Forsaken idols. They all responded to the cry of the blue cat. The name of the bell was Diddle Diddle, Banquet of the Night. Diddle Diddle. That's how to break fucking seriousness, right? All fables made possible, all marvels made real, by the magecraft of Alice, more magical than magic itself. They're bringing like Bayonetta level items into this shit now.
随分と身勝手ね。
Okay, before I read, I'm gonna throw this out there. Do they kind of do the same shit like in Bayonetta, where like, I think in Bayonetta you get like those like bracelets. I know in Bayonetta 3 it's like earrings that they changed it to, but like the relics or like the items you can get are like based off of like actual like real life people. Like I know there's an item that was like based off of, like Cleopatra, and one that's like based off of like a Native American like priestess or something like that. I wonder if that's kind of the case here too. That'd be sick. But here we go. How selfish of you.
それはあなた一人で決めていいことだったかしら、青子。
Is that something you can really decide on your own, Awoko? Alice sat perched atop the clock tower like a black bird of ill omen. She smoothed the ruffles of her skirt as if she were preening.
アリス。
Alice. There was tension in Awoko's voice as she lifted her head. The calm atmosphere from a moment prior had long since been shooed away by Alice's gaze.
あの子、確か。
That girl. I've seen her somewhere before. Sojiro searched his hazy memory. He cannot clearly make out her face at this distance, but he sure has seen her around town a number of times. Where and when eluded him, however, as the tension in the air kept from connecting all the dots.
驚いた。ずいぶんと仲間思いになったのね、アリス。今夜は私に任せるんじゃなかったっけ？
Well, isn't this a turn of events? I didn't know you cared so much, Alice. I thought you were going to leave me tonight, or leave, wait, what? I thought you were going to leave tonight to me. What the fuck does that mean? Did I read that? Is that just another translation error, or am I just that dumb? Aoko readied her guard and took a half step forward, unconsciously. I fucked that up. Don't listen to me. From an objective standpoint, it almost looked as though she were protecting the figure beside her. Ooh, I think she noticed. Alice's silence grew even heavier. Her eyes, fixed on the ground below her, were devoid of emotion. An indescribable sense of dread and pressure laid claim over the plaza. So she's just floating? That's sick. A bell? Oh. It's like that, what's it called, man? For whom the bell tolls. If anybody understands what that means. If he strained his ears, he can make out the faint ringing of a bell echoing in the distance. The rippling sound wave seemed unbelievably to be emitting from under the ground.
なあ、青崎。あの子。
Hey, Ozaki, that girl, she's
黙ってて。
quiet. Oh, sorry. Sojiro stepped back, trying to stay out of the way. It was as though he had been told to go to hell. For the crime of asking if the girl was Aoko's friend. Well, at the moment...
仲間思いに当てはまるかは微妙だけど、良くない予感がしたから様子を見に来ただけ。
I wouldn't go as far as to say I cared. I simply had a feeling something might be wrong, and came to check.
別に、あなたの仕事を疑ったわけじゃないわ。
It's not as though I had any doubts regarding your ability to handle the job.
それはどうも。どうせならもう少し早く、その良くない予感とやらに気づいてほしかったけど。
Much appreciated. It would have been nice if you had thought to come check just a bit earlier, though.
でもま、ご覧の通り自己解決したわ。
As you can see, things seem to have worked themselves out.
夜も遅いし、さっさと帰っていいわよ、アリス。私の仕事っぷりを疑うわけじゃないんでしょ？
It's late. So don't let me keep you, Alice, since you have no doubts about my ability. Right? Their eyes locked on one another. Alice's stare was uncomfortably cold. Aoko's was bold, daring Alice to air her complaints.
いえ、気が変わったわ。
I think I've changed my mind.
せっかくだし二人で帰りましょう。その方があなたらしいわ。帰りしな、人形の話でも聞かせてちょうだい。
I'm here now. So why don't the two of us go home? That's more of your style anyway, Aoko. You can tell me about all your adventures with the puppet on the way.
らしいって何よ、らしいって。
What's that supposed to mean?
いいから帰れ帰れ、ぐうたらアリス。部屋に閉じこもって役に立たないムクドリでも作ってろっての。
Go home, Alice. Shut yourself in your room and make some more of your worthless birds. Oh, some of that animosity is starting to come out. She's like, all right. I guess I'm going to fuck you up. A disappointed sigh escaped Alice's delicate lips. It seemed that the black-clad girl was more astonished than angry.
青子、口にしたくないけど、本気？
Aoko, I hate to say this, but seriously? Quietly, Alice questioned her roommate of nearly 2 years.
呆れた。二人で秘密を守ると言ったのに。
That's a cool little picture. You surprise me. Did you not say we would protect our secret together?
まだ半端にそっち側なの？それとも情でも移った？
Are you still having trouble letting go of the other side? Or has compassion taken a hold of you?
別に、情っていうより私の気分よ。
Not at all. This isn't compassion. I just feel like doing it this way. Well,
だいた
somebody's-
い、
I don't know
方
if you
針
just
なん
heard
て
that with
その場
somebody's
その場
car
で
alarm
変わ
just
る
went
もん
off.
でしょ。気分ならなおさらよ。
No plan survives contact with the enemy. You know that. The same goes for my mood.
そっちこそ、一度した約束は絶対守るなんて、時代遅れなんじゃない？
Besides, who goes out of her way to keep a promise she made forever ago? A little old-fashioned, if you ask me. The proverbial knives were out now. No quarter was giving, no quarter taken. Sadly, their partnership was one of convenience, and had not reached the level of mutual understanding. Their version of friendship was both delicate and unique. When a conflict of opinion arose, each would refuse to budge until the other crumbled. Neither was concerned for the other's plight, and at least for now, that was how they liked it.
そうね。今の暴言はあなたらしいとは思うけど。
You know, I can't accept stupid outbursts like that from you. Once again, she let out a sigh, even larger than the one before.
言い争いは後にしましょう。
Why don't we save this argument for later?
そこの彼をいなかったことにするのは、私だけで十分だし。
I can make him disappear on my own. Finally, she struck straight to the point. As if making to move a chess piece, Alice lifted her slender finger. That's a big ass fork. Oh god, that is a big ass fork. My man said, huh? Even this simple action seemed mysterious to Sojiro. The same boy who had been haunted by his class from Aoko Elzaki, and bore witness to an automaton. Aoko's violence and an animated doll. Though perhaps far beyond the realm of logic, both these things were derived from reality. As surprised as he had been, there was no need to think of them as total mysteries. However, got a big ass fork about to lodge in his chest. When the thing appeared out of thin air, from seemingly unrelated gesture, he had no word for it besides mysterious. Sojiro stood motionless, captivated by this stage performer's magic trick, as the girl's single finger magecraft turned into attack directed at him. A blue light flew from the side to repel it, annihilating it without a trace.
やば。
Oh shit. Aoko immediately regretted her reflexive shot.
どういうこと？約束を曲げただけじゃなく、ルールまで破るつもり。
What are you doing? You're not satisfied with just breaking our promise? So you must break the rules as well? The already chilled midwinter air plunged below freezing. Alice looked calm and collected on the outside, but in reality, she was sometimes even more hot-blooded than Aoko, especially when it concerned her familiars. Accidentally destroying one often would result in a week of silent treatment. Wait, a fucking fork is your familiar? I think you need some friends, Alice. That's what you need. But maliciously destroying one, Alice would reserve the right to retaliate without fair warning.
あっちゃー。いつかやるとは思ったけど、ついに逆鱗に触れちゃったか。
Whoops. I figured I'd do that someday. But I couldn't have picked a worse time. Give me one moment. Alright, sorry about that. My headphones were done, so I had to put them on the charger real quick. Though Aoko was shocked at the depth of her own stupidity, she also was in fact a little bit relieved. She did not intend to make any excuses, and she had no regrets. If she had broken the rules, then so had Alice.
青子。
Aoko.
なんていうか、
How do I put it? If anything, this took a load off her mind. After all, now there was no going back. Aoko never intended to break her own rules. If there was anything for Aoko to regret, it was putting too little power into her shot.
私的に今夜こいつに死なれるのは困るのよ。
I have a problem with this guy dying tonight.
なんで、日を改めて殺しに来てくれないアリス。いいでしょ？たった1日ぐらい。
So, can we reschedule the execution? What difference does a day make? Oh, you'd be surprised. Taking on a pro bono case in the defense of a suspect S was the socially acceptable thing.
それは市場？
Is this personal?
悪い？一宿一般の恩義って割と大事にしてるの、私。
So what if it is? You know that paying back my debts is pretty important to me.
私との協定より。
More important than our agreement?
ええ。時と場合によっては。
Sure, depending on the time and place. Sojiro's human rights had not entered the argument. My man's sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? The girls was busy pouring oil onto each other's flames. Bro, just walk. Walk away, man. I would slowly be tiptoeing out of that shit like a MFer, bro. So I swear. Let them fucking duke it out. I'll fucking run away real quick. The girl clad in black was the first to move, or rather, to erupt.
そう。よくわかったわ、青子。
I see. I understand how you feel, Aoko.
私は彼をここで殺す。
But I'm going to have to kill him, here.
あなたは彼をここだけ生かす。
I believe that you would let him live.
つまり、私と戦う。ということでいい？
Shall I take that to mean you're ready to fight me for it?
そんなの、いいわけないじゃない。
You know damn well I'd rather not. Aoko bit back the retort. She was very familiar with Alice's magecraft, and knew painfully well how many mystics were hidden in Alice's tiny body. The odds of victory were essentially non-existent. And once the first shot had been fired, Alice was without mercy. Whether facing a roommate or a friend, a most beloved family member, or even a stranger. Once Alice began to fight as a witch, she became a heartless, unflappable monster. Aoko advanced another half step forward, as if to encourage herself. It was far too late to back down now. The situation was no longer a trivial quarrel over a witness. The bedrock of their so-called friendship had nothing to do with their individual abilities, but everything to do with being equals in will. That is why, in order to stay true to herself, Aoko had no room for compromise or deception.
もちろん、あんたを殺すことになっても、そこのバカは生かしきるわ。それに。
Of course. I'm going to make sure this idiot lives, even if it means killing you, and besides. Her magic circuits howled as they kicked into gear. Her body, which had mostly been dormant during the battle with the puppet, ignited, preparing to demonstrate its true worth.
それに、どのみち最後には殺し合う仲でしょ、私たち！
We're going to end up killing each other in the end anyway. Her courage empowered over any fear she had for her opponent. Damn, bro, she brought out that motherfucking Gallic gun, bro. Yo, Vegeta would be fucking proud. Tuning her body, her magic circuits, to become like the barrel of a gun, Aoko fired a magic bullet. It was exceedingly basic magecraft formula. There was no nature interference, no creating of wind, parting of water, or hastening of decay. It was simply the process of converting the imaginary action known as magical energy into something real before releasing it as heat. Thus, Aoko's destructive power was equal to her supply of magical energy. The magic bullets she had used against Sojiro were among the most basic single-action magecraft that did not require an incantation. At her present ability, Aoko's main mode of attack, her magic bullet, could be fired at 3 levels of power. These were at the 2nd level. This required a double-action magecraft, a casting through an activation of her crest combined with a simplified incantation. However, without blinking, Alice dispersed the shot that Aoko had mustered all of her spirit to fire. Sojiro's face? His face in the background, that shit's great. Oh shit, wrong button. Aoko tutted in frustration. A swift sneak attack, magecraft that used a simplified incantation, would not be enough to break Alice's guard.
相変わらずお堅いこと。そのから、一段と独りよがりになってるんじゃない？
As stiff as ever, I see. Don't you think that shell is making you complacent? Aoko provoked Alice in order to disguise her own lack of composure. Somehow, Alice seemed delighted by Aoko's bravado.
売り言葉に買い言葉。というやつね。
I suppose this is what they call fighting words.
こういう勢いだけのきっかけは初めてだけど。
I never fought to the death for such a trivial reason. Meanwhile, the one guy's like,
驚いたわ。
do
こん
you
な
know
くだらない
whose
理
life
由
is
で
on the
も
line?
その気になるものなのね。人間って。
I'm really shocked. Humans are such conceited creatures. Alice giggled. Smiling with heartfelt amazement, Alice gestured her left hand toward the earth. Zap, 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 zap. I don't know why I read that. Countless utensils shot out from underneath the cobblestone paving the plaza.
しずきくん、後ろに飛んで。
Suzuki, get back! Huh? She grabbed his hand as she shouted, jumping backward before he even had a chance to respond. As if they had wills of their own, the utensils that had suddenly appeared from the ground gave chase. As the barrier of spears grew around them, that's a fork, not a spear, Aoko and Sojiro put some distance between themselves and the clock tower.
これで終わり？
That's it. That's all you've got. Just under 30 feet stood between them and Alice. The lethal weapons that had crumbled the stone beneath them fell short of what Aoko anticipated. She's gonna be like, what? And then Alice is gonna be like, nah, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted to happen. And then fucking Sojiro gets turned into a kebab. They now encircled the clock tower, making the scene look like the burning of a witch at the stake.
普通逆じゃない。ここは私たちを逃がさないよう、槍で周りを囲むものでしょ。
Isn't this backwards? You'd expect the spears to try and stop us from it. Those are forks, not spears. The path behind them was safe, or so they thought. Or so they think, I should say. If they wanted, they could try and make a break for the main gate and escape.
いいの、アリス。悪いけど、逃げられるなら逃げるわよ。
Just look at
私。
his face. Are you sure about this, Alice? Sorry, but if you're going to let me escape, I'm not going to pass the chance up. If she could just make it back to town, it would be Aoko's win. All she wanted to do was let Sojiro get away for the night. So if she could get back to him... Wait, what? So if she could get him back to the city, it would be, for the most part, mission accomplished. Oh my gosh, she got a vial of reptile's acid.
Huh?
Or so she had thought. Without even offering a glance at her targets below, Alice carefully and lovingly pulled out a bottle from her pocket.
緑のフラスコ？
A green flask?
あれって確か。やば！とにかくファイヤー！
Damn it, that's fire! Ah, okay, so that's what they are, they're shields. That would make sense. Her shot was deflected with ease. Gone was Aoko's earlier bravado. It was only natural. Aoko had indeed grown as a mage. Over the last 2 years of study, her studies had progressed well, and she'd more or less gotten a grasp of her roommate's tendencies and abilities. I guess not. Well, that's not frightening. Okay, let's see. This made her concede enough to believe that... I'm sorry, I sneezed, that's why you didn't hear me for a second. This had made her... Whatever. Enough to believe that, under favorable circumstances, she was able to show Alice a thing or two in a fight. Oh boy, how you just been proven wrong. Oh no. It's like Shang Tsung's soul bottle. Alice uncorked the magical bottle. A gentle breeze caressed her cheek. Diddle diddle flew as the new player stepped into the stage. But from where would it enter? The sound of footsteps, a nostalgic parade, approached. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Oh, you gotta fight a fucking Ferris wheel? That's wild. No. No way. Unfortunately, it was true. This was a miracle that Aoko Ozaki, an apprentice mage, had never witnessed. The dead came to life. The inanimate awakened. Oh, so it is like Shang Tsung's like that was a bottle of souls, bro. What the fuck? I played Mortal Kombat. I know what that is. That's soul magic right there, baby. The woods were enveloped by the mists. Fire-breathing lizards lurked in the swamps. Puppets made merry at midnight. Alice's slender fingers had transfigured the entirety of the park, as if gently stroking the back of an elderly cat.
いいわ。ごっこ遊びをしましょう、青子。
Let us play pretend, Aoko. For one night, the wasteland of dashed hopes and dreams was restored to its former glory. Ooh, you know what that means? If the puppet isn't fully destroyed, something could happen. So we'll see. It was an immortal monster ready to devour reality. A dark fairy tale that once unleashed would never let its prey escape.
逃げられるものなら逃げてみせて。
Run if you dare.
どこまで行けるかわからないけど、この夜を越えることができたのなら、あなたの勝ちにしてあげる。
Is she okay? First of all, she has black eyes, right? Why the fuck did they give her blue eyes here? That doesn't make sense. If she has like black pupilless eyes. Sorry, from an artistic standpoint, that just doesn't make sense. But I mean, it gives the effect, you know. I don't believe you'll get far, but if you can survive the night, I'll concede this round to you. Her declaration marked the start of a desperate battle. The witch in black laughed at her friend. Her musical mirth filled with affection, sadness, and innocent delight. And then then Aoko and the puppet fuse, and that's how she gets her red hair. I'm just waiting for her to get her fucking red hair already, bro. Come on now. Faded glory returned to Kitsyland. The neon glow of innumerable lights illuminated the night. Speakers filled the air with sounds of vinyl music. Merry-go-rounds, small and large, whirled round and round. All in all, it made for a mind-bending spectacle. It was certainly possible to power the facilities by transmuting magical energy into electricity via alchemy. That said, simply supplying the park with electricity would have not brought back to life that which was broken. The young woman did not... What? The woman did this by not mixing chemicals into a compound, but by melting down divine providence into a witch's brew.
まずいわね。アリスのプロイは何個か見てきたけど、今回のは桁が違う。
This is bad. I've seen her ploys, and this one is something completely new.
セット。
Stifling her anxiety, Aoko fired up the crest on her right arm. If magic circuits were a mage's engine, then their crest was software that assisted their magecraft. For the fledgling mage Aoko, this was her trump card. All she had to do was simply supply magical energy into her crest-based formula. It may have not been the strongest magecraft, but it was hers, proof that she was the successor of the Ozaki lineage.
講師2層、直流数門。
Execute double layer. Direct current to crest. The pattern of the crest shifted to execute the formula, which then connected to her magic circuits. The process resembled trains changing rails, a puzzle involving dozens of circuits. She constructed it as swiftly as possible without sacrificing the quality of its construction. Instant magecraft cast without incantation will not be enough to reach Alice. After Aoko had gauged the strength of Alice's defense with her initial shots. She would dial up the power 5 times the next time, driving 20 tons of force into her target. Alice had the protection of the thick hanging fog and the dense barrier around her. However, this attack would be more than enough to pierce through both. If Aoko struck home, at best it would cave in Alice's chest and end the fight. At worst, it would have at least knocked Alice down from her position atop the clock tower.
そろそろいいかな?
Quick question. As always, there was one guy who spoiled the deadly tension pulling out Aoko of killer mode. Sojiro had been looking back and forth between Alice and Aoko in confusion.
それで、どういう話になったんだ?
What's going on now? He said it like he might ask for directions to the train station. Normally, she would have lashed out screaming in response, but his entirely serious tone shocked her more than it angered her.
信じられない。慣れてきた、私。
Unbelievable. Is this my life now? Aoko swallowed back a sigh and returned her focus to activating her crest.
交渉は決裂。ちょっと怒らせすぎた。
Negotiations have broken down. I pissed her off a bit too much.
あの子から見れば、まあいい機会だし、遊園地ごと私を亡き者にしようって腹ね。
From her perspective, this is a good chance to kill me off, along with the entire theme park, I guess. Sojiro tilted his head, as if begging for a simpler explanation.
私、割とあの子に恨まれてるから。捕まったが最後、どんな風に殺されるか想像すらできないわ。
She's really got it in for me. I can't even imagine what sort of death she has in store if she catches me.
要するに、あんたも私も、あの子をどうにかしないと生きて帰れないってことよ。
What I'm saying is, neither you or me are getting out of this alive unless we do something about her. The puppet.
そんな、とばっちりだ!
So you're saying I got dragged into your quarrel? Pretty much, man. Look, you went to the park at the wrong time of night, baby. That's all I gotta say, bro.
まあ、そういうことになるかもね。
Pretty much. As Sojiro protested in a tone wholly inappropriate to the situation, Aoko let out another blast rip from her right arm. She was not aiming at Sojiro, though. A little earlier in the day, and Aoko would have been happy to do exactly that, but now, her attention was focused on the girl in black atop the clock tower. She could hardly grasp the situation amidst her astonishment. She fired the strongest, fastest magic bullet she had the ability to conjure, and Alice blocked it. That was to be expected. When Alice set her mind to defending herself, such an attack was child's play. But what just happened? Something she had never seen before had leapt to Alice's defense. A team of horses? A plague of locusts? No. Those things existed in this world. Unlike what Aoko just witnessed. Normal creatures cannot form like a spontaneous cloud of fog and then dissipate just as quickly into the night sky. Oh, what the fuck? Holy, what the fuck? Impossible things moved in impossible ways. Alice was not even supplying them with any power source. Those things never needed power in the first place. Those broken and discarded things did not follow the rules of mankind. This was an invasion of fairy tales. Compared to them, the automaton looked merciful. Automata's puppets were products of magecraft, but even then, they behaved as puppets should. These newly animated things, however, were nothing short of that. Empty vessels became living creatures. Dummies warped into malformed beings. There was a fog so dense that magical energy invisibly spread to all corners of the park, bringing with it a monstrous welcoming party that easily numbered over 1,000. Shit. Spurred on by the shuddering sensation running down her spine, Aoko fired a barrage of single-action magic bullets. Her impulsive attack scattered futilely. She's like, well, I'm in a predicament right now. The knights of the merry-go-round soared into the sky. Green, fire-breathing lizards flocked. The bakeries opened their doors once again, and a human-sized loaves of fresh bread marched from their ovens as platoons of newly baked soldiers. I'm sorry, I don't know how I read that with a fucking straight face. Just, I don't know if you heard me like smirk a bit when I read fucking human-sized loaves of fresh bread. That got me.
Aozaki, uchiro!
Aozaki, behind you! Aoko and Sojiro were completely surrounded. The Ferris wheel creaked as it gently turned. A rickety train car raced about the roller coaster tracks, with Kitsy, tears streaming down its face aboard. It was a grossly twisted fantasy. The girl in black reigned over the insanity-fueled park. Oh, now we're screwed. Aoko was transfixed by the scene unfolding around her. Then, she realized what was happening.
そうだ、これは。
Oh, I know what this is. Alice once told her of her familiars. Among them were three of particular notoriety, one of which she recalled being capable of something similar to this. And it was called
プロイキッシャ、フラットスナーク。
Ploy Kickshaw, Flat Snark.
Aozaki, だから後ろ!
Seriously, Ozaki, behind you! Oh, it's the horse from Berserk. Oh, man. If you got that reference, man, I feel for you. Struck by Aoko's bullets, the creatures exploded into splinters. The bread? The bread exploded into splinters? Is that how that works? Okay. It was clear Aoko's shots were becoming more powerful, but it was also the case that these beings were less robust than your average automata.
Shizuki-kun, こっち!
Suzuki, this way! Aoko turned away from the clock tower, grabbing his hand, and began to run.
Aozaki!
Wait, Aozaki!
ごめん、これ無理!
No time.
逃げるわよ!
We're running.
逃げるってどこに?
Running? To where?
どこって、とにかく行けるところまで!
It doesn't matter. Anywhere. She shouted as though trying to persuade herself as she valiantly, there you go, cleared a path. It's like, I know that word. I don't know why the fuck I can't say it. Aoko's magic bullets flew like a scream, blowing away the creatures that stood in their way, or rather, simply gathered around. She made a hole for them to escape through. That's wild. An undead circus? That's a pretty... Oh. That got me. No, not the bread soldier. Magic bullets exploded like blue fireworks. Aoko and Sojiro ran down the bumpy brick road. Their bond, forged in fire of battle, went far beyond mutual convenience. They headed for the park's exit at full speed without exchanging a word or a look. The weirdness only extended as far as the park's border, so they would be safe as long as they made it outside. But the bread soldiers. Speaking in pure numbers, the difference in strength was 2 versus an army. Or rather, 1 versus an army. Sojiro was hardly useful in the situation, and manpower wasn't really the issue here, since they were facing puppets.
さっきの大丈夫？上からこう、でっかいハサミが落ちてきたけど。
You okay? Those were some giant pincers back there. Aoko shouted as she blasted away the monsters that stood in their way. There was no time to stop for breath, or even to look back.
なんとかギリギリ
Yeah, just barely. As Sojiro pursued, his voice, too, had naturally become shrill. 5 minutes earlier, they had broken out of the siege at the plaza surprisingly fast. It seemed that the residents' awakening differed case by case, with larger creatures taking additional time. Oh.
ラッキー、朝に弱いタイプばっかと見た。
We're lucky they're not the morning type. Aoko joked as she mowed down the small fry that popped up. But then... Without warning, something outrageous extended its way down from above them. It was the claws of a 60-foot lobster adorning the roof of a seafood restaurant, like a hermit crab. Its pincers were like a guillotine. As a welcome Sojiro cut across the front of the restaurant, the Red King pressed into a tremendous speed, keen on splitting them, each in two. No! Why must I see this man die?
ゆうた、こっちはダメ。
Shizuki, hard about. This was no good. The gate was just on the other side of the restaurant, but they had to take the long way around in order to lose the giant lobster snapping at their heels. Waiting along their detour had been a horde of Waiting along their detour had been a horde of monsters, too many to count.
なんとかギリギリ
Yeah, we just barely made it. I just read that already. Sojiro called out in response, recalling just how narrowly he had avoided his head being severed clean from its body.
手前うわなんだあれ焼きたてか
In front of us. What the hell are those? Are they freshly baked?
そうみたいね。要するに下級兵士よ。
It looks like it. In other words, they're cannon fodder. I was trying to make a bread joke or a bread pun and nothing was coming up to my head. I don't know any breads that start with this. They're crescent fodder? No, I don't like that one. I'm just going to take back what I just said. Aoko halted her sprint and set her crest at full
距
operation.
離7、6、5メートル。あの程度ならスナップだけで事足りる。
Range 6 or 7, 6, 5 yards. At this distance, Snap will take him down. Sliding along the brick path, she brandished her right arm. She loosened a shower of magic bullets. Snap was a single action spell that favored rate of fire over power, and it mowed down the monsters with satisfying pops.
青崎そっちも
Aozaki, more over there.
了解。
Roger that. No, not the bread army. Blue explosions bloomed along the lamplit promenade. Aoko's current of fire fanned out like a beautiful star mine fireworks show. The toy breadman turned into charcoal.
いける。数でこそ押されてるけど、この状態が続くなら逃げ切れる。
We can do this. They got us overpowered in numbers, but at this rate, we'll be able to get out of here.
しずきくん、そっちは。
Shizuki, how's it look over there?
いない空いてるここからなら入り口の東側に出られるはずだ
Looks clear to me. We should be able to approach the exit from the east. Meanwhile... Oh, little blue bird. That motherfucker's gonna snitch on them, isn't he? Little shit. With a magical barrage that would even leave an average scale-passer blue in the face, the novice mage broke through the siege. Meanwhile, a single bird keenly watched everything unfold. Oh, there he goes. Chirp, cheep, 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 chirp. And with that being said, I think that's where we're going to end it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let's see, let's do a quick little recap. Alice showed up like I suggested that she was going to. And, man, she pulled something out of her fucking pocket. And now we're like pretty much like a fucking undead nightmare circus. You know, something like Killing Floor, if you remember that level. And man, it's gonna be. Let's see how let's see how Oko and Sojiro end up into get out of the situation here. I think, because I don't know if the puppet was fully destroyed. I think something's gonna happen. Again, I just don't know when the fuck Aoko's gonna get her red hair. I like for that to happen as soon as possible. Maybe it might happen here. Who knows? Maybe the fucking puppet's like, yo, I'm right here, and then fucking touches fucking Aoko's heart and is like, hey, your hair's mine now. There it is. It's red. Boom. Now you're fucking broken, OP. But I mean, we'll see. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. This is your boy White Album, signing out.